Hello, Brett Gallant, Sierra West Scale Models. Welcome to Craftsman Kit University. In this video, we're going to take a look at the damp brushing technique that was used on my HO scale O'Neill's Fabrication pilot model. This is a very simple, straightforward technique. Rather than narrate every step that is being shown on the video, I'm going to point out some highlights that will make this technique simple for you to perform. The amount of paint loaded on the brush is very important. Unlike damp brushing's sister technique, dry brushing, you want quite a bit of paint on the brush when you begin. You can see how that's demonstrated. The brush I use is very important. It has long, flexible bristles with a flat end. These bristles bend back and forth as I move the brush across the surface of the wood because I don't want to use that flat end of the brush. I want to use the long edge of the bristles as I go back and forth, because what this will do, this will deposit an uneven, random layer of paint pretty much on just the surface of the wood. The details that we added to the wood prior to doing the damp brushing technique, like the knots and any wood grain, saw blade banding, really shine by using this damp brushing technique. You can see that clearly. Now I'm going to repeat the exact same damp brushing technique on a new batch of prepared stripwood as per the directions in the O'Neill's Fabrication manual. The paint used here is inexpensive craft store paint. I don't use my high density pigment Reaper miniatures paint on stripwood because I want the details and the coloration that were added prior to the damp brushing to show through. And the high-density pigment paint will cover those details too much. It's really designed, that Reaper Miniatures paint is designed for painting castings. This is a very simple, straightforward technique. Don't overthink it. Load some paint on the appropriate brush, get it on the surface of the stripwood. It's that simple. On some of the stripwood, I took plain rubbing alcohol with a stiff, chiseled, bristled brush and very lightly skimmed the surface back and forth while the paint was drying to homogenize it a bit. This will differentiate it just a little bit from the first batch of wood. And when we mix all these pieces together and apply the siding to the main building on O'Neill's, we're going to get a wonderful natural looking variety. Now we're going to take a third batch of prepared stripwood, perform the same damp brushing technique. I'm going to use a little bit more paint here, once again, just to create a little bit of variety. It's one of the fantastic things about board-on-board modeling. We want to exploit the fact that we're using individual boards. These are the type of techniques you could never perform on laser-cut milled siding. Once we've completed adding the ivory paint to the surface of the wood, we're going to come back once again with our rubbing alcohol and apply a little bit more pressure this time than we did with the second batch to differentiate it and kind of smear and homogenize the paint. Thank you for watching Craftsman Kit University, and I hope this video is helpful in enjoying your construction of O'Neill's Fabrication.